Assalamu alaikum and welcome back. I'd like to introduce you to our fourth guest. Imamuddin is the chairperson of Guild of Bangladeshi Restaurants in the Midlands. He's driven all the way from Birmingham to here. And not only he was stuck in traffic, but not only him, even I was stuck in traffic. I was delayed by 2 hours almost than my planned arrival. So Imam Bhai, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And tell us, first of all, a little bit about the journey. I mean, the hell of a journey you had to here.
I took a wrong turn when I entered London and regretted it for 2 hours after that.
Yeah.
So you can imagine.
That's why we try to avoid London as much as possible.
Yeah,
you know? And then NTV studios in East London, which takes another hour or 2 hours to come.
They should have a satellite studio though.
They should have a satellite studio.
Then you could
in Midlands maybe.
Some in the Midlands would
In
be
the
a good
Midlands
idea.
would be perfect for all of us.
We can come down.
I hope the chairperson of NTV is listening and watching what we are saying. Right, so there's few issues that we are here to talk about, and especially you are again in the heart of the industry in Guild of Bangladeshi Restaurants. Now we've covered the online ordering platform and how that's affecting our industry. We want to talk about finance, we want to talk about staff training, unfair competition, but the main fundamental issue in our industry today is staff shortage, especially the chefs and the kitchen porters. Now, from my company, we supply to 4,000 Bangladeshi restaurants, and this year, one of my oldest customers in Penzance closed 2 of his restaurants down, one takeaway and one restaurant. He can't get the chef, and every time I attend some of these government organizations, and they say that we should train the local, we should get our children into this industry. And I actually approached us for your party, one of your ministers, who said that to me. And I said, okay, that's great. So why is your son and your daughter not picking fruits in the farms? Why is Eastern Europeans are picking fruits and vegetables in all our farms in the UK and not the English community? And he couldn't answer me. Our children, our next generation, they do not want to go into the Indian industry for whatever reason it may be. They want to be doctors, they want to be bankers, they want to be engineers, they want to go to the next stage.
They want to be prime minister.
They want to be prime minister, of course. That may be something you want to do. So we cannot let the politicians lecture us on saying that we should bring our next generation. Indian restaurants is not a racist business. And then they say, why don't we bring everybody, why don't we bring normal white people to, I'm saying white people, I hope I can say that on this show, to bring this industry. And it's simply not possible. I mean, have we stopped anybody, have we stopped any English person to opening Indian restaurants?
No.
Why aren't they opening it? Simple, the skill that is needed is raw skill from Bangladesh, especially Bangladesh, because the restaurants are owned by Bangladeshi. So what are you facing in that? I mean, you're in this industry. What is the things that your members are saying to you about this?
Well, more and more recently, it's what you've just said is echoed to us. Every other person that I meet, the main after the greeting these days is, Imam Bhai, I'm closing a restaurant. I haven't got the staff. What are you doing about it? What is your organization doing about it? And I say to everyone, it's not what we're doing about it, what our organization has got to do about it. It's what can we all do together as restaurant.
What are you doing all together? What are we doing together?
Well, this is what we're trying to do. We're, even by attending today, we're trying to unite everyone under a platform. And Amba has already taken an initiative on that front. We're supporting him with further evidence. And we're saying to everyone, join us. And Amba has been asking for letters from people saying, we've got a staff shortage, whether it be kitchen porter, chef, different people say different scenarios. Some say, I'm closing because of the chef. Others say, I've got enough chefs, I need kitchen porters. There seem to be a common...
But kitchen porter, I've seen some kitchen porters in some restaurants, Eastern Europeans are being good kitchen porters. So why do we need Bengali?
We don't need Bengali, we need kitchen porters. Nobody said we need Bengali.
So why can't you use the Polish or the Slovakian and people like that to do kitchen porting?
Very good question. I'm glad you asked that. That is the key question. We don't exclude any Eastern Europeans, or we don't portray or encourage exclusion of anyone. We actually encourage them. They're just not coming forth. And this is what we're trying to show to the government.
You're saying we cannot get even Eastern Europeans to come in and work in the kitchen?
Even if they do, what the problem is, they don't sustain there for long enough. They're in there for a week, 2 weeks, and that's it, they're out. They can't sustain it. The problem is here is we can find kitchen porters. We need to know how to get the kitchen porters. We need to advertise the jobs.
But any job center, surely, all of us know, most of our viewers know, that if you go to a job center and advertise a job, they should get, they would
but
have
the
applicants.
big problem is employing. You can't employ an Eastern European to do the tandoori. Tandoori is a very hot oven. They can't do that.
Yeah,
the curries.
But if
This
I am not mistaken, most of our chefs in this industry who started as kitchen porters, then they slowly became, assistants and then tandoori. So why can't the Eastern European do the same?
Well, I think the point is trying to make is that a kitchen porter is not going to stay a kitchen porter for the rest of his life. That kitchen porter is to be your chef one day. Now, he has to work through the ranks, right to the chef level.
But
and
can
for
the
that,
Eastern European not do that?
well, can they? That is the question. Can we take that risk?
Let me come back to you on that, Shalem. I think the history suggests for me that there's a number of non-cultural knowledge restaurateur has developed a restaurant and tried to achieve those areas where you were referring. It didn't work because the cultural knowledge is so strong elements to the kitchen to understand that where the value, where the creativities are, where your actually the customer demands are. If you don't have that, how much can you train somebody? And continuation of your develop your restaurant menus is limitation. It becoming limited because you don't have the cultural knowledge to develop any further.
Respect, your party or your government, what I'm saying is what they say to me. Because it is in my interest for this industry to flourish. Because I benefit from it, as you know very well. So therefore, I am suffering at this moment because my customers are suffering. So every time I speak to one of these ministers and these people in the government, what I'm saying about these Europeans and the British public, that's exactly what they say to me. So which I give my responses. So what, as an organization of Guild of Bangladeshi Restaurant, as an organization of with Spice Business Magazine and British Caterers, which is the most well-recognized brand.
What we are doing,
what are you doing?
What are doing the right things? I think we have made a statement. You have probably seen right across the world has been recorded and published, and that is creating awareness of the real problem. Now, what actually they are looking for? We have to send a submission, which is I'm collecting the people concerned, and it has to be organic. It has to be people give me evidence that I can able to submit and I can make argument is arguable. But if you just keep on saying everyone, one person saying you got a short of kitchen porter, another person saying short of, it doesn't remain
the submissions that you've made. Does anybody know about this?
Okay.
I mean, how are you portraying your message?
It has enormously publicized in
all
those
in the media,
in the paper, and
let me just use this opportunity, viewers. When we were offline, we were discussing about this, and what Uncle Enam has started is a petition to the government to tell the government that we cannot train European people to be chefs and cooks. We need even temporary 2-3 year visas for people to come over from Bangladesh because of the culinary culture, the knowledge of the food, and so on and so forth. And what he needs is letters, handwritten letters. It doesn't have to be typewritten on a computer. Handwritten letters with
real evidence,
with your name of your restaurant, your takeaway, and saying the problems you have, and saying that you are facing these issues, saying how much tax you've paid, how much VAT you've paid, and you're going to have to close down because you cannot get the staff. Get those letters in, pass those letters on to Spice Business Magazine, post it to them, post it to Guild of Bangladeshi Restaurant, to Imam Bhai, or if you cannot do that, just send it to Unifoods, and we will pass it on. When we're speaking to 4,000 restaurants every week, so pass it to our rep, and let's collect these letters. Let's all of us, I mean, if you look at the promo of the show, is we all have to work together. So let us all get together, work together to see if we can convince the government to give us a temporary opening to bring 5,000, 10,000 people in to support the industry.
And even someone running a restaurant, no problem. Also, we like to hear is to give a good suggestion that how is managing this. So, if any restaurant in today, perhaps hearing and watching the show, if anyone thinks they're running the show without any problem, we'd really like to hear from him, because it is important for us to be submit. That is the problem in balance.
But with respect, I speak to, not me personally, my company speaks to 4,000 restaurants, and every single one of them has this problem.
But the thing is, the government asked me one important question. I said to them in my email that 90% of the businesses are currently suffering because of staff crisis. Now, they said to me, do you have the data for it? How do they know that it's 90%? Where did I get the figure from? I read it on the Independent. So what we need to do is,
this is where
the channel comes in, like NTV, whichever media corporation. What we need to do is, we need to get all the restaurants out there to write to us, say that this is my restaurant, that's my address, that's where we were based, and this is the problems that we're facing.
But even emails should do that, right? What's the email address, Spice Business?
So info@spicebusiness.co.uk.
If they write to Spice Business, or they send an email to Spice Business, then what we'll know is Mr. Ali would have better understanding of how many the actual figures. Then he can take that to the government and say, look, this is exactly how many restaurants we have. And this is the problem.
We've got the solid data, and absolutely brilliant data we've got over the last 17 years. And that data has information that's so valuable. But I need some evidence. You cannot just to say, for my restaurant suffering, you cannot do that. You got to have the collective information in the one book or one report that makes sure I can submit to the government.
I'd like to add, you asked a question.
How many members have you got?
We've got about 2,500.
So why can't you get this 2,500 letters?
Well, we have, I was about to say earlier on that we started, the government asks you and they say, what statistics have you got, what proof, what evidence have you got? Well, we've got all the restaurateurs telling us, and yourself, that we're struggling for staff.
Have you got that in writing?
Have you got it in writing? In writing. So what we did was approach all the colleges and all the apprenticeship schemes last year, and we said, we want Eastern European, anyone from any origin, we want them on a training basis for 2 weeks. Can you help us? And they all said, delighted, we're absolutely delighted that you asked this question. So we had a series of meetings with apprenticeship schemes and also the job centres and the Chamber of Commerce. Not one of them, managed to get one member of staff through our door, and this is what we're compiling.
So this is the problem. I got 2 more issues to talk about before the show finishes. Okay. It is finishing. I know you can talk all day. And what about training the staff? We cannot train Eastern European.
We can train Eastern European. It will take longer.
You can train.
If they stay, we don't know whether they are going to be loyal. We have this loyalty thing.
Let me briefly answer you for the training. Yeah, it is possible for training people, but sometimes it is a process for timing, and the Eastern European seem to be not sustained in that one establishment for so long, because they just come and work for porter or maybe salad chef, and then after a couple of months they're just gone.
Go back to
you was mentioning before, if you want quality food, if you want to provide quality food, you need quality chefs.
Yeah.
In order to stay in business in this tough economic climate, you need to have a quality chef. Then you can provide quality service. Otherwise, how would you survive in this tough economic climate?
What about this next topic I'd like to cover is unfair competition. What I've seen, I think I've taken you to one of the restaurants, which was like a warehouse, and they're turning up food like a factory, and they're doing £100,000 of business a week, and that's an Indian restaurant, not Indian as owned by Bangladeshis, Indian owned by Indian, and they've killed off all the local Bangladeshi owned restaurants. How do you tackle that?
Yeah, of course competition is something you got to be ready for it, and to sustain in the corporate business and your single-handed running small operation is always have a clash with. But one advantage I always believe in myself, to machine generation and the traditional generation has advantage. Let me tell you, today it still sells far better for people said handmade.
But those restaurants are also handmade. So they're just big volume.
But I know volume. But the volume has if you go to the volume, you're not going to get a good service. You're not going to get what actually you're looking for, personalized, to greet you, to serve you. So there's the advantage. You are doing that exercise, you've got to have enough confidence.
I would like to bring that up one of our next shows about unfair competition and what we can do, because that's a major threat as well.
Yeah.
And also I would like to talk about the traditional Indian restaurants or Bangladeshi restaurant, and there's a lot of fusion coming in with different sorts of cooking and so on and so forth.
Can I just, sorry, add on to what Anambai said about the unfair competition? What is touched on is each smaller restaurant, obviously if a big one opens near you, you're going to feel the effect, but we must look at what our customers want and what we can give them that the big restaurant's not giving. So if our customers want home cooking, why not promote that, and also promote that you get friendly service, it's owner owned, family owned, and a lot of people...
So market it, give the message.
Yes.
And also the one thing, they cannot able to provide the big massive restaurant what actually customer purchase.
So thank you very much. We've run out of time.
Okay.
I mean, we can continue off after. I'd like to thank all my guests. They traveled far away to get here today, and thank them all very much. To Inam Ali, MBE, Imamuddin, Ashmiya, Imran Jabbar. On our next shows, we will talk about other topics like unfair competition and so on that affecting our industry, and how we can all work together to save our industry and make it strong. Thank you very much for watching. See you again soon. Thank you.